Whatever you are doing, please stop and let the Holy Spirit give you this wisdom. A lot of people think that just because something is labeled as being Christian, or that people will tie the name Jesus to it, that it's authentic. When the truth of the matter is, that's not so. A lot of Christians are deceived these days because they think that just because something is labeled as being Christian content, Christian friendly, that it's actually for Christians. When we really shouldn't be taking things at face value, because we know that the word tells us that the devil himself, he comes as an angel of light, which means that he comes to deceive you, to make something look good, but it's really not good. Paul says to study, to show yourself approved. Don't just take something and run with it and believe something simply because you hear something and you see something that appears to be good. You know, Jesus also warned that in these times that we are living in, these very end times, that deception will be at an all-time high, and that even the very elect could be deceived if it were possible. So that tells me that the level of deception that the enemy is operating in within these times is at an all-time high. He is even operating at a level to where he will use Christianity and Christians against Christians. Jesus said we will know them by their fruit. But you see, a lot of us, we don't want to go and check the fruit out. We see the fruit and we just take it and we eat it like Eve did because it looked good. We take it and we eat it because somebody else told us it was good. And the truth of the matter is, we really shouldn't be lazy Christians. You really have to be one that is willing to do research and dive deep into things and see what's really going on underneath the surface of a lot of things, because the devil is wiser than a lot of people realize. Even God himself said that the enemy is very wise. He has disguised himself in a lot of people and things and places and music that are deemed to be Christian. But when you allow the Holy Spirit to bear witness within you, he will show you who's really of God and who's really not, what's really of God and what's really not, because sometimes it's hard for you to tell. Without the Spirit of God, you will be deceived. And in gaining wisdom, we need understanding. And in gaining wisdom and understanding, therefore, we are granted knowledge as to what a thing truly is, or who somebody truly is. I see you, Satan. He even perverting Christianity. He is using your Christianity against you, because listen, the word says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves. See, the word tells us that we should do good unto one another, especially those who are of the faith. But when you allow the Holy Spirit to bear witness within you, he will show you who's really of God and who's really not, what's really of God and what's really not, because sometimes it's hard for you to tell. Without the Spirit of God, you will be deceived. Because the truth of the matter is, we're the ones he coming for. You are the one that he is coming for. He ain't coming for the world because he already got them. So what make you think that he's not going to hide himself in the church, that he's not going to hide himself behind the pulpit, that he's not going to hide himself behind Christian music and Christian content? Because listen, see, in order for him to get you and in order for him to get me, he has to disguise himself amongst us. Because see, he knows that birds of a feather flock together, but every bird don't belong in the flock. In case you haven't noticed by now, I am one to call the enemy out on every lie. And I do mean every single one. I refuse to know the truth and not give it to God's people. I refuse to know the truth and not speak it, because it's the truth that sets us free.